Good morning, good morning, good morning. You already know what it is, man. Talking 49ers football, everything relevant to the team right now. Debo Samuel following the 49ers back. What does that mean? Uh Castro-Fields. Watch some more film. Put out a nice film breakdown. So everything you need to know about him is in there. And Ryan Tannehill came off kind of a little bit of an asshole. And we'll talk about how the difference between maybe him and what we've seen from the 49ers and even Jimmy Garoppolo throughout this process. You know what it is, San Francisco 49ers Morning Show. Let's go.
Intercepted. It is picked off by Eric Crocker. Over midfield, he'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Crop Talk TV podcast. Peace. Welcome to another episode of the San Francisco 49ers Morning Show. I am your host, former NFL and AFL defensive back, Eric Crocker. And y'all know what to do, man. Locked on 49ers with myself, Brian Peacock. We're coming at you 5 days a week. Got some good stuff. We actually did a breakdown of Castro-Fields last night, and it was good to hear, two different perspectives, two guys seeing a little bit different things. So make sure y'all tune into that. Subscribe, hit the like button on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff. Also, Locked on NFL Draft with myself, Ryan Tracy, come at you 5 days a week as well. And the Not Ideal podcast. Continue to see people really liking it. I mean, my wife and I, over 2,500 views so far. So that's exciting on this channel. This is a sports channel, but people tuned in for that and have a great guest coming on next. My homeboy, Dwight McClain, he trains athletes out of the LA area, but he came up with a great idea to sell booty bands, and it has blown up. It has blown up. So he's going to be on the next episode of Not Ideal Podcast, business, entrepreneurship. We're going to get a lot of good things with him. And he's into I don't know, the crypto and all that type of stuff. I don't know nothing about that stuff. So maybe he can help me understand. But shout out to my guy, Dwight. We played football together. He played at Purdue University. We played a couple years in the Arena League together. So that's how I know him. So that's the little bro now. That's the little bro. But super into fitness. We'll get into all that and more. But definitely today, wanted to get into touch on a little bit more what I've seen from Tariq Castro-Fields. A couple of DMs I got pertaining to him. All right. And then all the other stuff with the 49ers. So first, I want to start with the Tariq Castro-Fields film. And I watched them, and I watched in depth. And I get a whole lot of, I put a tweet out there. First of all, I put a tweet out there. And my tweet was just like, how is this guy a 6th-round pick? Because what I initially saw on film, I didn't see 6th-round pick. I saw somebody that I saw someone that I actually liked a little bit more than Ambry Thomas. And Ambry Thomas was someone that went 3rd round. And when I say a little bit more than Ambry Thomas, and Ambry Thomas went late 3rd round, but as a prospect, right? Because at the end of the day, you can be one thing in college and it might not work out at the next level or, whatever. But just as a prospect, like what I'm looking for from my cornerbacks, I thought Tariq Castro-Fields' film was a little better. I thought there were certain things that he did that I thought translated to the NFL extremely well and definitely can help the 49ers. All right. I'd say, and where does this question come from? So hit me in the chat right now. Like, where does this come from? Can he play safety? I've seen him do some rock and roll. We call it rock and roll, where you'll be manned up on one guy. He motions across the field. So instead of running with that, you go up to safety and the safety rolls down. And from there, just 3 times in one game, I saw him playing like more of a single high where he'd have a deep third. And I thought he did a good job of having good eyes, seeing the concepts over here flat. Eyes came over here to the left side of the defense. He had a post coming and he was able to catch the post man and run with that. So, I guess he can. But I don't know why, again, from what I see, he's a corner. And I thought he played corner well. So why would you make him go to a safety? I don't know. Not saying he can't do it. I just talking about what I saw. All right. But it's interesting because I put out a tweet saying, man, like, why was he a 6th-round pick? And I got a bunch of comments. All right. I got a bunch of comments. No, I'm not putting you on blast, bro. Uh-oh, got a buzz on the mic. I already know what it is. Hold on, let me see. Oh no. Oh no. Something's going on with my mic. Yo. Is it still sizzling? Is it still sizzling? I don't know what's going on now. Because everything is connected right. Yo. Super static. Uh-oh. Let's see. I'll disconnect it and then connect it back. We'll see if that helps. Yo. All right, what about now? Am I still buzzing or sizzling and all that? How am I doing? Much better? All right, here we go. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. Man, technical stuff is tough. And I don't have like some behind the scenes people that like, oh man, okay, the mic is true. Okay, they can fix that. It's just us talking. So I put out the tweet. What do people why was he a 6th-round pick? So I got a ton of comments. And one thing, when I get all of the same comments about like something, I mean, it's very, very, very specific, right? My initial reaction is someone from the 49ers community said these things, and now that has picked up and spread out throughout the 49ers community like wildfire. And what has spread about him was what are the two things I saw the most? Injuries. What was it? It was injuries. It was what was it? God, sorry, my bad, y'all. Let me look at that. I mean, because it was over and over and over. It was the same responses over and over and over. Double moves. Injuries, double moves. All right. Those are the two things I heard the most. Injuries, double moves, and I feel like there was one other thing. Now, I see my guy, and I'm not putting people on blast. And again, I know somebody was like, Croc, you always want to be right. Not about being right. I watched the film, and I put a very in-depth breakdown on video. It's an entire thread. I mean, what is it? 40 tackling. That was the one. Tackling. So double moves, tackling. Horrible, right? Like that's what I heard a ton of. And let me take this off because I don't want to, have people put on blast. But where we see tackling. So it was double moves and tackling. And I'll say this. I watched 3 games last night because somebody was like, man, Croc, you got a thread cooking up. And I'm like, well, I ain't really planning on having a thread. But, for the fun of it, like, yeah, I'll do a thread. So I did a thread. And in 3 games that I watched, 3 games, I saw 1 missed tackle. And that missed tackle ended up going for a big gain. Another one where it was like, he threw his body at the guy. He didn't bring him down, but I don't know what to call it. It was like on the sideline. I think he was trying to bump him out of bounds. But 1 missed tackle. And I saw it was missed tackling. And what was the other one? I forgot. Missed tackles and double moves. So 1 missed tackle and 2 double moves that he got beat on. 1 that he covered extremely well. All right. So 1, again, and I asked myself, I'm looking at him as a prospect. So prospect is about like, what can you do? What can't you do? Right. Like if I'm going to get this guy in my defense, what limitations will he have in the defense that I'm playing? So if I'm a cover 4 team can he not execute playing cover 4? Does he have mobility issues? Does he have bad feet? Does he not trigger well? Can he not turn and run? Does he lack the vertical speed? Does he not have the size? Like all those things, those are the things I'm really like, I'm looking for, right? And a lot of what y'all saying, I'm not gonna lie, I ain't see the shit. And I'm like, what are these people talking about? The double moves I did see. All right, so and I actually, it's crazy. He DM'd me. We'll talk about that. But the double moves, it's all right. I see the double move, and one thing you gotta kind of pick and choose, right? Do you want him to be aggressive and break up passes, or do you not want him to be aggressive and be a little bit more passive? And in my thread, I talked about all those things. I thought when we talk about exploding out of your break, I thought he did extremely well. Being able to play off coverage, turn around with guys, great anticipation, and read receivers down, thought he did that extremely well. I think you can point out a play where it's like, oh, well, this is not a good play. I mean, I think you could do that with any corner, right? What's the saying? We are talking about Castro-Fields right now, but the saying is, show me a corner that hasn't gotten beat, and I'll show you a corner who doesn't play. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna happen. But again, I have a full thread. There's 2 full games, like an entire 2 games. And if you watch those 2 games, just tell me what you see that's consistent. There will be a time where it's like, hey, got whooped off the line, man, but he still recovered well. You'll see that. There'll be another time where it's like, hey, he locked him up at the line. I watched him against Indiana, then I watched him against Ohio State. I thought versus Ohio State, obviously there are more times where you could tell that he was a little bit more uncomfortable, but there were a lot of times in that film where he was and he did everything that you were asked to do, and he was great down the sideline. And so some of these narratives that we're pushing on the 49ers Twitter, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it comes up. Like I saw somebody say, oh, his field vision is bad. And I didn't see field vision, like poor field vision. Now, again, if you want to say that there is a clip where it's like, oh, he didn't see this, then okay, I could agree. There was a touchdown where the tight end ran a shallow, and I believe, and I don't know, I would have to ask him, he could have potentially fell off of that and caught a deep crosser over. There's a chance that he could have done that. There was a touchdown between him and Brisker. Brisker got crossed up. The receiver crossed. It's crackling again, huh? All right, here we go. So now I'm talking on the laptop. So hopefully the laptop has a good mic. Y'all let me know how it is. Hopefully the laptop has a good mic. All right. So how am I now? I don't know what's going on with my actual mic. All right, so we'll just go off the laptop for now. Hopefully it's not like an echo or anything like that. But again, when I watched him, and when I watched him, a lot of the stuff people are telling me are happening. I think what they're doing is they're looking at a certain situation or like a certain play or maybe a couple plays, and they are tying those 2 plays in. I think a lot of people are tying those 2 plays and making it seem like that's what he is throughout like his entire time at. I don't even want to say his entire time at Penn State because I can go back and watch. But I watched 5 games now of 2021. And I'm not going to lie. I don't see a lot of like bad. Now, again, I'm not saying he's like a first round pick or even a second round pick. But if I'm comparing what I saw from Ambry Thomas and him, I would say I would have him slightly ahead of Ambry Thomas, Ambry Thomas was a late 3rd round pick. So we're talking about someone who I felt like looked like on film actually should be like more of a late day 2, early day 3 guy, as opposed to a 6th round pick where he was drafted. And I thought he was good. I thought he did a lot of good things. Again, I have it on my timeline. if you want to know anything, and not something that's regurgitated from maybe someone in the 49ers community and all this, and maybe people don't know what the hell they talking about, whatever. And I'm not saying I know it all, but I have a pretty good eye for at least identifying what I'm seeing on film and being able to explain it. Go look at that thread and watch the whole thing. And I even made it into a moment, so it's easy to find. You can click it, and it's the entire thread, and it's easy to follow. All right, so go ahead, look at that, and those are some of the things I saw. I'm talking about Castro-Fields right now, but it was great to see Castro-Fields DM me, and he said, I guess I'll just tell you what he said, because I think it was pretty good for a prospect that, you know, he doesn't have to say anything to me or anything like that. But here's what he said. He said, "What's good, big dog? Got huge respect for you. Been following the movement since I got into college." He said, "Shit, if you ever want to talk ball, would love to hear more on how I can progress, how I can keep progressing and keep getting better." And that was his thing. And he talked to me about some of the things on film. But for me, it was just cool for someone to be like, I want to be better. Like, I want to keep getting better. All right. So I see my guy Chris today. He should be on the show. I'll hit him today and be like, "Hey, you got time this weekend or something? We'll get him on the show." All right. But it was good to see that. Now, not only did I get that DM, I got another DM. Again, this is unprovoked. This is not me reaching out to people. But I got this DM from one Trevon Diggs. All right. Trevon Diggs, right, he sees me doing the thread and he DMs me. And he says, "Tariq, nice. He's from my area. He gonna do real good in the league." You know, and I'm not saying like whatever Trevon Diggs says is worded bond or whatever, like, oh, that's Bible, that's one, you know. But it was just, you know, hey, like, nah, this dude gonna be nice. You know, and he didn't have to say that. If you think somebody gonna be trash, then you just don't say anything, right? But he went out of his way to DM me and tell me, like, man, and it was like boom, like right around the time I started the thread. So I really like so far, you know, Tariq Castro-Fields, and we'll see what he is. I'm not saying, I know everybody, Croc said he gonna be a guy. Listen, I have no idea. All I know is I thought the film was solid, and I thought it was better. And I think some of the narratives that are being pushed about him, I didn't quite see that. I didn't quite see. Again, I saw a couple of plays where it's like, all right, double move. Like a double move, that's not, if I see somebody get beat on a double move twice, which I did, and there was another time he covered a double move extremely well. Ain't nobody talking about that. They ain't talking about that, right? But how do I fix it? Right? Can I fix it? Can I not fix it? And I was like, look, and I told him this. I said, Mike sounds like great value brand. I know, my bad. Listen, I don't know what's going on. I took the mic away. We're not even talking on the mic right now. Now we're using the laptop. I apologize. Technical difficulties. Maybe I got to get a new cord or something. I don't know. That did be probably the second cord I've had to get. So I guess sometimes these cords. You know what? I need to get the thing that goes here. Fuck it. I'm gonna buy it today. I'm gonna buy the whole thing today. The whole, what is that thing with the mixer and all that? Fuck it. I'm gonna go buy it today. All right. We're gonna have to stop with the technical issues. All right. But guys, I forgot where I was. But anyways, y'all know what I'm trying to say, man. I think sometimes people pushing it, oh, double moves. And I told him, and I'm like, listen, I was like, and I told him this, and I said it on the thread too, but I told him, I said, don't stop being aggressive, because I think that's a major skill. Like, I think he plays with great anticipation, and maybe too much anticipation to where you can get beat on a double move. And we saw that from, you know, Trevon Diggs, right? Whereas like sometimes, you know, you kind of risk things a little bit, but 49er fans, and he didn't have a high interception total at Penn State, but everybody, oh, interceptions, want this, want that. But then it's like, you don't want a guy, you want a guy to play safe, so you get beat on a double move. All right. You know, and I told him, like, maybe you can attack the upfield shoulder more instead of undercutting it and taking that angle, and that would help you not get beat on a double move. But I like the aggressiveness, and I want you to be aggressive. I think that's what's going to make you make plays on pass. That's going to make you get the pass breakups and all those good things. So, like, stay aggressive. And I told him that. Stay aggressive. If anything, just take a slightly better angle at that upfield shoulder to where if a guy does run a double move, he has to come through you. But I don't want to take that aggressiveness out of his game. All right, so when everybody, oh, double moves, he got double moved to death. I saw 2 double moves that he got beat on. 2 in over 300 reps that I watched. over 300 reps. I saw 2 double moves that I saw him get beat on. But now, he just can't guard double moves. And I saw him guard one. Nobody talks about that. Want to know who you rank higher, Womack or Castro-Fields? I haven't watched Womack yet. I have not watched Womack yet, but we'll get to it. Mike is better. Don't trip. Buy a good one, big dog. I know. I'm gonna get a new one. I appreciate that. And shout out right here towards the new mixer. Let's go. I'm gonna get one. It's been long enough. I can use it as a tax write-off. I'm gonna do that. All right. But enough on Castro-Fields. Shout out to all y'all with the support and everything. Enough with Castro-Fields. If y'all want to know the real, and you want to, hear me talk about this stuff in depth, go to my thread right now on my timeline. I have it in a moment. Click the moment, and you'll be able to watch through the whole thing. And it ain't just a play that someone cherry picks, or just, oh, look, he got beat here on these 2 double moves. He gets beat on double moves all the time. You see a lot of good stuff, and you see some things that where he can improve. All right. So, yeah. Here we go. Support. Love it. Appreciate everyone, man. I appreciate everybody contributing. Man, I appreciate all that. Much love. Much love. I'm going to go buy a new one today if I have time. If I don't do it today, I'm going to do it tomorrow. But yeah, I have a great mic. This your mic. This is a real deal. There's something. I'm using a weak connection. I'm using the just the little not HDMI. Yeah, the little regular little port thing. And I'm going to go legit so we can have sound bites and all that. Appreciate y'all. Y'all showing a lot of love. All right, y'all showing a lot of love. But shout out to y'all for real. But all right, here we go. Next topic. Appreciate all the contributions rolling in right now. Definitely gonna put it. I'm telling you, I'm going today and gonna get a new mic or whatever, or the thing. But I want to touch on Ryan Tannehill. I didn't mean to spend 20 minutes on this, and I'm gonna start to bring y'all up now. Because I only have about 30 more minutes because I got to study or get ready, prepare for this podcast I have with the New York Giants, and then, all that good stuff. Shout out for the more contributions rolling in. Let's go. Appreciate all that, y'all. Here's the link right here so y'all can come in and contribute to the show and talk on the show. But I did want to talk about real quick Ryan Tannehill in his comments, and then kind of how it pertains to the 49ers and the 49ers locker room. All right. Oh, let's go. I'm going to keep that one up there. Let's go, man. I appreciate all that. I need to have mic issues more often. So Ryan Tannehill came out and was basically like, look, it's not my job to mentor this young player. I'm a quarterback. I'm here to do my job. If he learns from me along the way, then so be it. All right. And that is kind of an asshole move, but I do agree that, he don't have to mentor him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's Croc, shout out. Let's go, man. Hey, I appreciate everybody in the chat right now. But it is kind of an asshole move to just be like, I ain't mentoring him. I'm not putting him under my wing. All right, when we've seen other guys kind of have that mentality a little bit. But you know who did not? In a situation that I think are the situation wasn't very ideal for this guy, Jimmy Garoppolo. He was clearly upset, right? He spoke about it. He was clearly upset, even to the point where he's like, I'm going to request a trade, right? Like, I'm going to request a trade. Like, that was where he was at mentally. He settled down. They told him, like, dude, you're going to start this year. I want you here to be a part of this. And he talked about being very tough. It was a tough situation for him. They drafted a guy number 3 overall. They gave up a ton of draft capital. Everybody knew what that meant. And regardless of that, and maybe how he personally felt, and it was a little awkward at first, and he had a ton of questions about him and Trey Lance and their relationship, and it was really weird. And he's spoken on that. Like, he's like, man, I don't wish that on anyone. And you see him, he never once was like, well, if Trey Lance learns from me, then Trey Lance learns from me. Like, nah, he was continued to be the great leader that he is, and was like, I'm going to take this young guy under my wing, even though they are pushing me out. All right, they are pushing me out the door. They don't want me anymore. They told me that. They want me for this year, and that's it. But even then, I'm still going to be a good leader and mentor to this young quarterback, Trey Lance. And you don't really get that. I mean, I don't want to say you don't get that around the league. There are some guys that do, some guys that don't. But that just shows like that true leadership that Jimmy Garoppolo has. And it doesn't stop with Jimmy Garoppolo. I think that kind of like shows Trey Lance the type of leader you have to be, right? Like, look, Trey Lance is in this situation, and I know he's probably looking at it like, man, Jimmy didn't have to be that good to me. And he even spoke about that, where he's like, man, like I made a best friend for life, right? I bet you when Trey Lance gets married, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be one of his best men, whenever that is, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Jimmy Garoppolo will probably be a best man in his or one of his groomsmen in his wedding. All right. I think that's the type of impact on him. And I think it helped Trey Lance understand, down the line how he has to prepare, the level of, just determination he has to have to continue to improve his game. And I think Jimmy Garoppolo showed him a lot of those things. But it's not just him. I think it's the 49ers locker room in general. 49ers have a lot of great dudes that are terrific leaders. Like that locker room, the main thing you hear about that locker room is 1 month later, Trey Lance unfollowed Jimmy. The main thing you hear about the locker room is it's a very tight-knit group. Now, we've heard that since Kyle Shanahan has taken over. And I wonder if that's something that he's instilled in his guys. Like, even when things weren't going well, we are going to have a tight-knit group to where everyone is just about the team. And I think that's something that really stands out with not just Jimmy Garoppolo, but everyone. Drake Jackson talked about when he got drafted, right? 49ers drafted Drake Jackson, 2nd round. And Drake Jackson was like, man, like, everybody reached out to him. Trey Lance reached out to him. Several NFL players reached out to him immediately, and he was just like, man, he just kind of like felt the love, right? And that's what that locker room is. And I think you're going to hear a lot of people speak to that and how it makes guys want to go out their way to be better for everyone and the team. And, I know we see this situation with Deebo Samuel, who is now following the 49ers back. But, it's a situation where these guys understand it. They understand. I don't think it's personal with them. And I've never seen a situation where guys are, oh, man. Well, actually, I have. Who was it? And you don't do that. Was it Ben Roethlisberger and Le'Veon Bell? Was it him? Typically, when a guy's going through a business thing, because when the team doesn't need you anymore, they're going to cut your ass. They're going to cut you. When they don't need you anymore, they're going to let you go. So guys understand, most guys understand, if a guy is holding out or he's disgruntled and he needs his contract, you leave that alone. Like, that's his thing. Bruh needs his money. All right? That's the business side of things. That's the business aspect of that. The guy needs his bread. You let him handle that. So with the Deebo Samuel situation, like, I don't think anyone in the locker room is taking it personal, unless he just openly badmouths players. Like, man, I don't want to go back there, and McGlinchey sucks, and he's always getting bull rushed onto his back, and Trey Lance can't throw a 5-yard hitch to me, and Jimmy Garoppolo can't throw a go route to me, and I hate the way Kyle Shanahan. Like, if you start hearing him just badmouthing everybody, then, like, yeah. But aside from that, everyone understands the business aspect of the NFL, and you have to get your money. You got to get your money. So 49ers have definitely developed this tight-knit group, almost like this, this show. I feel like I see a lot of regulars in here, a lot of people that consistently come on here and we all talking. And I feel like we have good interaction on here. If you haven't tuned in here before, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We have very good conversation on here, I feel like. And it's a very open forum, right? And I believe the NFL in that locker room, it's some of what the same, where guys are cool and they understand the business aspect of things. So this 49ers locker room is not Tennessee's locker room, where, your player's not getting taken care of. And I know everybody's thinking of the Deebo situation, but historically, 49ers have done a good job of taking care of players. I know the Buckner situation was different, but they're taking care of their guys. And, it seems like everyone is all in. They're all on the same page. So Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. I put the link in here if anyone wants to kind of speak on the team stuff. If you have any questions about what I've seen so far from Castro-Fields, because again, I see what everybody's telling me on my Twitter. And I'm not saying that anyone on there is less informed or they don't have the ability to tell me what they're seeing. I'm not saying that, but I am saying if we're talking about what's consistent on tape, I would have to disagree with a lot of what I've seen. It depends on how you're saying it. And again, there's context here. So if you're telling me he always gets beat on double moves, I would say no. If you say, oh, he's gotten beat on 2 double moves, I would say, yes, I agree. If you're saying it's something that you see all the time, and that's the reason why you would take him later, and that's why he would fall. Because that's what I asked, like, how does he go 6th round? Oh, he gets beat on double moves and injury. Oh, that's why he slipped. All right. So Daniel Jeremiah had 4th round grade on him, early 4th round grade on him. Dan Bugler had an early 4th round grade on him. And I thought, on what I'm seeing on film, he should have gotten drafted around that range. Later, early 4th, he's more that type of guy, right? When I asked him why they, like, hey, why did you slip in the draft? He said it was because of the stingers. And he was like, Croc, like, I only missed games that season. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at it, out of the last, 4 years he's played, because he played a little bit as a freshman, but the 4 years he's played every game except for 2020. He missed some games. And they didn't even have a full season. He missed like 3 or 4 games. It was the stinger stuff. So aside from that, because everybody's like, oh, injuries. He played every game, like 12 games as a redshirt freshman, 12 games like the next year. Then he missed some games. Then he played 12 games. So he played a ton. But he did tell me that the injuries was what made him drop. And he said it lit a fire on him, and it made him upset. And he definitely wants to be more consistent, and he wants to continue to improve on his game. So I like his mindset. I like where he's at. But appreciate everybody that's here right now. We honestly don't know what kind of player Lance is yet. Yes, we've seen how he does things, but we'll find out. Right. Nobody knows. And that's why, when we asked the question the other day, did 49ers get better? And we're like, we don't know. We don't know if the 49ers got better. But I will say, and then part of it is, well, you don't know what you're going to get from the quarterback position. But I'd say he's trending in the right direction from what I've seen so far. I'd say he's trending in the right direction. Here we go. Hi, Crocker. What state do you live in? I live in the natural state of Arkansas. I live in the natural state of Arkansas. And it's really crazy because it's like, man, how you live in Arkansas? I get that a lot. And I'm not going to lie. Like, I love it. Now, I have a great setup. I have a great situation here. And, I'm able to travel back and forth to California a good amount. But so maybe Arkansas can't be for everyone, but I know for me, I have a great setup. This team has a lot of unknowns, but so much potential. So much. And one thing I do, and we touched on this on the Locked On 49ers podcast. Make sure y'all tune into that with myself, Brian Peacock, 5 days a week. They are creating a lot of competition. So they're going to figure it out. There are positions where I think what you're going to get from certain guys, and there are a lot of positions where it's like, we got some big-time competition here for who guys are going to play. Big-time competition. And who's going to raise to the occasion. Trey will not be a bust. I can guarantee you that. I'll say this. It depends on what you think a bust is. Like, if you're saying a bust is Jamarcus Russell, then I could say he's probably not going to be Jamarcus Russell. If you think a bust, because sometimes, again, being a bust and all that is kind of predicated on where you're drafted. So 49ers use a lot of draft capital to get Trey Lance. And there might be some people out there that say, well, if he's not a top 5 quarterback in the league, then he's a bust. There will be those things, right? I believe he can be very good. He has a lot of really good qualities that I loved just with his, what I gathered pre-draft, and I think we saw a lot of those things on display as a rookie, good and bad. And I'd say if he's going to be, let's say he is what we saw versus Houston, which was like some weird moments and some high level moments, right? And we've kind of seen that from Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Where you see some weird moments from Jimmy and you see some good moments, right? I think his ability to create explosive plays, things like that. I think he's going to be, if he's just what he is in the Texans game, but let's say just a little bit more sure of himself, but his numbers are the same, then I'd say that's not a bust, in my opinion. If he could just like be that. If we're saying in 3 years, he's a guy who more times than not completes 70% of his passes, throws 2 touchdowns, runs in for another one that gets called back, throws 1 interception, throws for 250 yards. If we're saying he does more of that, I'd say, you know what, he's a solid NFL quarterback. Now, obviously, it's not Houston he's going to play every week, but just in general, if you can do more of that, then like, okay, yeah, he's going to be good. But there might be some people that think that's a bust. I don't know. I don't know. Fan bases are they can be a little strange sometimes. Chris, good morning, bro.
What's up, Croc?
Uh-oh. What can I hear, Chris?
You can hear me?
Oh,
You can hear me?
look at this. All this stuff set up, and now I don't even know how I'm going to hear Chris. Hold on. All right, say something, Chris.
Woo, 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 woo. You can't hear me? Croc.
Uh-oh. Well, you keep talking, and I'm going to figure this out. All right.
1, 2,
I messed up my whole
3,
setup when I
4,
unplugged the mic,
5,
so now I'm kind of
6,
confused by things. Let's see if
7, 8, 9, 10,
headphones connect.
11, 12,
But to keep talking, Chris.
14,
Keep talking. They can hear you. I just can't hear you.
16, 17. Oh, they can hear me? Oh, well, if they can hear me, I'm about to put.
I can hear you. I can hear you
Oh,
now.
I was ready. Oh man, I was about to start pushing my USC agenda.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna push it anyway. Hey, everybody, the season is coming up. USC baby, Lincoln Riley. We may get the Biletnikoff winner. Hey, 2022 is going up. USC. I'm not gonna say it because I've been jinxing them for the last couple of years, but it's gonna be a special season, and y'all should all tune in. But
right.
Croc, I finally, and I'm gonna come on here this time since I've always got on Jimmy G. I'm about to be positive on Jimmy Garoppolo. But I would like to say one of the biggest things, and I truly finally really understood yesterday, one of the biggest things with the 49ers as to why they win like they do and how they play so hard for each other is because of the locker room and how tight knit it is. You can't just, certain people just can't come in that locker room. I mean, the Niners they get certain players, and the leaders in that locker room, which is the Kittles, the Warners, Armstead, the Garoppolos, you truly understand why this team plays for one another and why they play so hard, and why you could see them start at 3-5 and then boom, go 10-7. And Jimmy Garoppolo, like every single player, Adrian Colbert came into our spaces and talked about it, how he loved. I mean, they don't talk about skills, but they talk about they love his leadership. You got the Debos of the world talking about his leadership, Armstead talking about his leadership, and you don't see Jimmy Garoppolo being like a Tannehill. Now, I don't disagree with Tannehill though, because I'm not going to groom somebody to take my position, and ultimately, I think Tannehill was really saying, I'm not going to go out my way and teach Malik Willis anything. If Malik Willis have any questions, yeah, I'll answer them. But I'm not going out my way to help him take my position. And so I think there's some noise. I don't know if they can hear it, but I can hear some noise. But anyways, so I like, Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance even mentioned, Trey Lance said that Jimmy Garoppolo, me and him will be friends for life. And that's because Jimmy Garoppolo took him under his wing, showed him the ropes, showed him everything. Not everybody's built like that. Tannehill should have never opened his mouth and said it out loud to everybody, but it just shows you that everybody is not built like that. And so we got to, give a shout out to Jimmy Garoppolo. That leadership plays a huge part because, chemistry is important. If there's no chemistry on our football team, I don't know that we go to a Super Bowl. I don't know that we go to an NFC championship. So I truly understand, the leadership, the locker room. Jake Jackson was really taken aback. He's like, man, like the Niners, them guys are dope. And he was like, they all hit me up. And he's coming from a toxic locker room. USC had a toxic, very toxic football team in the locker room. So him coming into the Niners, he was like really like taken back and shocked how dope these guys are and how many players hit them up and welcome them to the team. And so I just pretty much came on here to say I understand. I understand the locker room. I kind of understand the locker room more now with the 49ers. And then just shout out to Jimmy G because, like I said, everybody's not built like that. And I mean, you see with Tom Brady, he was under Tom Brady, and Tom Brady didn't want to teach him a bunch of stuff. I think he learned from afar, and the veterans on that team probably helped him. But Tom Brady didn't want, as you see, supposedly Tom Brady got him shipped out. I don't know if it's true or not, but hey, it is what it is. But shout out to Jimmy G. Hopefully, he'll go somewhere else. But shout out to him and shout out to, the 49ers locker room because I truly appreciate and understand why we are who we are. And I'm looking forward to an amazing season this year.
I muted myself.
Yeah, yo, Mike is. Yeah, you sound like Darth Vader right now, bro.
I have no idea what it is. We're going to end the show now. I gotta fix this audio issues. All right. Hit y'all tomorrow. Same time.
Intercepted. It is picked off by Aaron Crocker. Over midfield, he'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Croc Talk TV podcast. Peace.